All right, let's dive into the sharp, often hilarious, and sometimes uncomfortable world of political satire. We all know it makes us laugh, but what is it actually doing? Is it supposed to be a weapon for real change? Or is it more like a funny mirror, just showing us who we are?
Let's start with this thought, because it kind of says it all. We love the laugh, right? That's the sugar. But the whole point of satire is often to deliver some kind of harsh critique. That's the poison. So the big question is, are we actually absorbing the criticism, or are we just, enjoying the joke and moving on?
And that question right there, that brings us to the central paradox at the very heart of what satire is.
Is it a weapon? Something you aim outward to attack powerful people and call out hypocrisy? Or is it a mirror, something that's held up to all of us, reflecting our own society, our own flaws, all the stuff we might not really want to look at?
Okay, first up, let's explore this idea of satire as a full-on offensive weapon, pointed right at the people in charge. So when you think of it as a weapon, political satire is basically an attack on the language of power itself. It uses these awesome tools like exaggeration and irony, not just to be funny, but to slice through all the political jargon and show how absurd and empty it can be.
And man, nobody nailed this better than George Orwell. He's saying that political language is often just a smokescreen. The job of the satirist, then, is to come in and blow all that smoke away, to show that what looks solid is actually just pure wind.
And you see this weapon being fired all the time. Just look at these headlines. They're hilarious, sure, but they're not just random jokes. Each one is a perfectly aimed parody that highlights something genuinely absurd about our political discourse. The humor is the delivery system, but the point it's making, razor sharp.
But hey, satire isn't always about attacking somebody else. It also has this more subtle, more internal job, acting as a mirror that shows us ourselves.
So what's actually going on inside our heads that makes a satirical jab so good at getting a difficult truth across? I mean, what are the psychological mechanics here? Well, psychologically, it's this pretty wild three-step dance. First, the joke makes you laugh, and that laughter literally lowers your cognitive defenses. It disarms you. Then, bam, while you're unguarded, that uncomfortable little truth, the poison, sneaks right past your filters. And finally, you get this sense of catharsis. Sharing a laugh over something that's honestly infuriating or sad, it helps us process it together.
But there's a huge risk that comes with that mirror. If satire just mocks everything and everyone relentlessly, it can easily slide into pure cynicism. If it's all just one big joke, then does anything actually matter anymore?
And that right there is the ethical tightrope that every single satirist has to walk. It is such a fine line between a powerful critique and just being cruel. And the difference really boils down to this one simple but crucial idea. Are you punching up or are you punching down? Punching up is using humor to take on the powerful, to question authority. But punching down, mocking people who have no power, reinforcing ugly stereotypes, that's not satire, that's just being a bully. Some of the most debated satire, though, lives right on this line. You had shows like Brass Eye, which used this bizarre, surreal humor to brilliantly take apart the media's obsession with moral panics. And then you have stuff like Charlie Hebdo or South Park, which can intentionally push every button possible, sparking huge arguments about whether they're punching up, down, or just kind of punching everyone.
Okay, so we've looked at it as a weapon aimed outward and a mirror turned inward. Where does that leave us? Which one is it?
The real answer seems to be that the best, most lasting satire doesn't actually choose. It's both. It's a weapon for sure, but it's a weapon that's designed to make us turn around and look in the mirror. It's not about scoring cheap points or just taking down an opponent for sport. The goal of great satire is to use that attack to make us think, to provoke us into really looking at our own beliefs, our own blind spots, and our own part in the very things being made fun of.
So I'll leave you with this question. The next time a satirical headline or a clip makes you laugh out loud, just pause for a second and ask, who's the final punchline really for? Is it for the person being mocked? Or is it also, maybe just a little bit, for you?